cam change. Hello. Good to see you. Welcome to the broadcast here on June 26th, 2025. Nearly July. White shirt. You're right. It is a white shirt. Is that a problem? Is that going to be a problem? Do you like Minecraft? There's a good question. Finally, a good question to get off the stream. Do I like Minecraft? Yes. In fact, this is not pandering. I just think people that grow up with Minecraft are like better in a way. Like they're smarter. Do you know what I'm saying? Like if you have childhood memories of playing Minecraft, it's like you are a better human being in some, I don't know. Some thought I have. You know what? I like this guy. you know what? He's all right. Some of his opinions, they're well founded. Echoes. There's a new summoning salt. Maybe we will watch that. Holy chicken jockey. I'm not gonna watch it this second, but I just want to see if there is summoning salt to YouTube. You're telling me there's a brand new No, there's not. Oh, there is a Melee one from 7 days ago that I haven't seen. I mean, there's not a new one like today, but there is a 7 day ago one that looks, that looks cool. That looks fucking cool as shit. Yeah, I'll check that out. Plus, there's a new Almost Friday that I can't wait to watch with you. So we're eating good. We're up. How much pomade in the hair, big dog? You're not going to believe this, but zero. There is zero product in my hair right now. Not a single damn thing. Is that good or bad? Is my hair too greasy? You know what it honestly is? Here, I'll give you my exact hair routine for whatever few hairs I have in my head. I went and played basketball in the hot sun. I got really sweaty, and then I washed my hair with very little shampoo. So there's some natural oils in there. Yeah, that's what we're looking at. Can you dunk yet? I'm never going to be able to dunk. Stop shaming me for not being able to dunk. You know I'm a good dribbler. You know what Stans told me? This is such a fucking good fucking friend thing to do. Stans pulled me to the side after our last game, and he's like, dude, I think you've become one of the best dribblers that we play with. It was so nice, dude. It made me feel great because I'm practicing all the time. It was great. I'm the white Kyrie. And I do believe the earth is flat, just separately. I just separately also think the earth is flat. The echoes of eternity. Do you think black people are the original Israelites too? Yeah, I told him to tweet that. That was that was my original take. Thanks. Big Time Rush. Big Time Rush, think of the 46 months. You know what else I say? There's another thing I always say. If you grew up with Big Time Rush, you just get humor in a way that old fogies don't get. Do you know what I'm saying? You just have a better taste in music and content and like TV shows. It's like the kids younger than you are too stupid and the people older than you are too out of touch. You know, that's just what I think. That's just something I think. I feel that. I feel that. Big A, I got a haircut today. What do you think about it? Do you want to have the chat judge your haircut? Your call. If you would like to tweet at me a picture of your haircut at Atrioc, I'll show it on stream. Oh, are you going to see the new Superman movie because of your Smallville addiction? I'm not addicted to Smallville. I'm not. It's not a chemically addictive show. I could stop at any time. I won't stop because I'm actually enjoying it. But here's the thing about Smallville. I like this show because it is bad. Like it's, it's peak. For me, it's peak stream content because it's bad. I don't care about Superman. I have no allegiance to the Man of Steel, and I probably won't see the movie unless it gets great reviews or anything. I'm over superheroes, but it's not really a superhero show. It's like a funny teen dramedy mixed with monster of the week. It's just everything I want in a stream show. It's so funny. Oh, the echoes of eternity. Oh, Valhalla's calling me. The music bangs. Oh yeah, the music also bangs. It's like every early 2000s classic radio hit. Yeah, it's fucking awesome. All right, did someone send me a haircut pic? I got sent this. They said, "This is my new haircut. What do you think?" Somehow I don't believe that's you. To be clear, by the way, Lex Luthor in that show, one of the cleanest balds I've ever seen. One of the best rocking of bald that I've ever seen. It's a beautiful bald. It's I don't know if it's his head shape or what, but he just pulls bald off in a way that few could manage. New Almost Friday, we're gonna watch today. Anthpo went on Colin and Samir and quoted you. Then Colin and Samir said that quote over and over again like you're a genius marketer. It was so funny. That's not exactly how it happened. I did see the clip. That's a very kind interpretation by you. That's not exactly how it happened. But it was very nice that Anthpo brought me up on... what was the quote? I said, if you work, you twerk, and you jerk, that's a full day. That's a hell of a day. And Anthpo repeated that. And Colin and Samir said, wow, that's the smartest thing I've ever heard. Who said that? Atrioc? He's a genius. He might be the greatest streamer and content creator of all time. And then they got matching tattoos of it. The next Steve Jobs. We doing any AoE today? I don't know. I started a little late, so maybe not. But I will have an AoE grind sesh, and I will have it soon. Because yesterday was fucking Chungus fun. If it was heckin' doggo fun for my millennials. It was skibbity fun for my Gen Alphas. And it was I want to kill myself fun for my Gen Zers, okay? It was fucking fun. I really, 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 really enjoyed it. And I want to grind that game again. I want to put on the fucking helmet. I want to grab the axe. I want to play Skull. And I want to just try to get leveled up. And if I can't get there, I'm going to ask Hera or one of the greatest players of all time to help me. I'm going to streamer privilege it, and I will get to the goal that I want. It'll be fun. It'll be great. The echoes. The NYC mayor guy, Mamdani, was born in 1991. Why do you keep saying he's young? Are you making a joke because I was also born in 1991? Is that the joke that you are trying to imply? Me and Mamdani are young, okay? Unk. He's younger than Doug. True. I was born in 95. Hello, fellow 90s kids. 90s kids, we rule. You guys will never know about the fucking sweet treat the 90s was. Okay, sweetie? You'll never know the pre-9/11 joys. The American bliss. you guys understand that in 1999, 4 out of the top 5 movies were all about how much it sucks to have a great job and a steady life. Like every fucking movie that came out was about how boring it was to have like a stable income and guaranteed pension and so just understand how different things have gotten. Ba 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 da ba. The echoes of it. 9901 was peak cringe content in the arts. You're calling 99 to 01 peak cringe content in the year of our Lord, the Minecraft movie, Thunderbolts, fucking... What? There was so many good movies in 9901. There was like incredible movies. It was like, I think of the top box office hits of the top 10, like 8 were original, new films. Nowadays, the top 10 box office hits are like Kung Fu Panda 12, The Minions 14, the fucking next Pixar sequel. Okay, it's insane to say that, dude. That's an insane take. That's insane. That's insane. If you don't see Superman in theaters July 8th, I'm going to crash out. You're going to crash out because somebody, all due respect, that you don't know is not going to watch a movie that you can't see them watch. Have fun crashing out then. I'm probably not going to see it. Unless the reviews are insane, I don't really care about superhero movies anymore. I'm over it. The echoes of eternity. Oh, he says he's watching Smallville. Timothy, you don't understand. That's how this conversation started. So you're jumping in with your little Smallville quip, not knowing that that's exactly what we began with. You're going. He says this as he watches, but that's what prompted this whole dialogue. It's already been addressed. Oh, my microphone. It woke. It fucking woke. Watch the F1 movie? So I thought about it. I did think about it. Has anyone seen the F1 movie? Do you have any thoughts or takes on it? My vibe was it looked very, not even in a negative way, but like kind of dad coded. You know, in the same way of like Ford versus Ferrari or, you know, it's a dad movie. Go with Stans. I had lunch with Stans today. It was very sweet. It was very nice. Talked about life. You know, he's close to having he's close to having a kid. He's going to be a dad. It's so knowing Stans as long as I have, it's so wild to think that dumbass is going to be a father. And you know what's crazy is I think he's going to be a good one. But I've seen him like, I don't know, passed out on the ground after a fucking 20-hour League of Legends session where he lost points. I've just seen him like, tell stories about he's stealing beans from the place that he worked when he can afford the beans. And now he's going to be, I think, a good dad. It's wild to me. It's fucking crazy. People have sent me more haircut pics to the DMs. Let's see. Haircut. What's the verdict, little bro? This is actually your haircut? Okay, let's take a look. Chat, everyone needs to weigh in. This is how do I pull this open? Everyone needs to weigh in. Haircut. Dude. All right, so the haircut is fire. Great haircut. Looks good. The glasses and the stash. The glasses and the stash. The fit is chopped. I'll say it. I'll say it. The fit is chopped, but I think the haircut's great. If all you want is to judge the haircut, why is it leaning? It doesn't need to be perfectly lined up. The haircut says, it's clean but fun. It's good. The haircut's good, dude. There's no problem with this haircut. And you know what? I'm coming around on the stash, too. The stash says I'm a little bit different. Although everyone of this age who looks like this is doing stashes lately. So it's actually not that different, but I still respect it. I still respect it. I hate the glasses. I hate the glasses. But also, I'm pocket watching. Your glasses show a reflection of you, I think, at the gym. Holy shit. He's a Chad? Yeah, 9 out of 10. This guy's got a Zen in right now. 9 out of fucking 10. This guy's got a Zen. He's got a big fucking tub of creatine in his unfurnished apartment or dorm. And I respect it. I respect it. All you need? Is that really all you need? Is that really all you need? Get Stans to put you on Football Manager? No, I'm happy for him, dude. He was popping off today playing Football Manager. He had all the fucking football hooligans checking out his chat. Bro was multi-streaming and had numbers up on both. Not the game for me. But the echoes of it. The strange intersection of spreadsheet gamers and sports gamers. It's called autism, and it shouldn't be shamed. Okay? It's called undiagnosed autism, and it's not a problem. It's not like it. No one needs to be taken down for it, okay? People should be celebrated. Autism, I think you mean sports gambling. I don't think sports gambling's unless I'm actually joking with autism, but I don't think it's an autistic thing because sports gambling is really more of a fucking desperation thing. God, it's first of all, it's very normy. It's everyone does it, and then it's it's more of a moonshot, It's sports gambling is really for normies who think stocks are like they want to gamble on stocks, but they don't. It's too boring. That's where sports betting hits. Okay. What's the biggest bet you ever made? Bet on myself. That one's for God. I don't know the biggest bet I ever made. I'm trying to think what the biggest bet. It's probably with Lud on something. We've put a few thousand on things. But, the thing about the big bets with Lud is that we all secretly know we're just going to even it out over time. Whoever's up always takes dumber bets until it gets even. So, yeah, actually, no, exactly. The biggest bet I ever made was taking, 15% of all the money I had on Earth and putting it into fucking solid gold. On a fucking geopolitical hunch. Ba 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 da ba. Echoes of eternity. Mm-hmm. Your tattoo was a big bet? Yeah, not a cash bet. But yes, that was a big bet that got me told to kill myself by Brazilians. But who hasn't been told to off themselves by Brazilians every now and then? I'm not going to get hung up on it. It's a rite of passage. Hurry up and turn on Smallville, little bro. I don't know how to tell you this. This happened with House. Posts like this will make me stop watching it altogether, and I'm banning you permanently right now. Okay. I don't know. And you have 999 messages. I hope if a mod sees this, if you feel generous, unban later, but I will not. Okay, I find that to be, it's very frustrating. Okay, you can go watch it by yourself. Many people have. If you like this show, go watch it by yourself, but I will watch it as the end to a full stream. There goes of it. Timeouts exist? Yeah, but the only thing, I don't know how to, actually, I do know how to do it. I just like banning. It feels, when you hit the ban button, it crosses out all their messages with a line, and it looks fucking fire. It feels like you're doing something. Timeout just feels nothing. It's nothing. It's like a finger wag. Dude, I actually have like a presentation today, but I might want to add a slide or two. It's not a big one. It's not a big one. But it's just something I thought was interesting. Okay. Do it on the fly, McFly. It doesn't really work like that because if you don't have the slides, then there's no visual for the video or the editor. Hey, Big A, why is artificial scarcity allowed? Do you have an example? What are you talking about? You mean like De Beers hiding diamonds in a vault to pretend like there's fewer diamonds than there are? Is that your example? Why is it allowed? Well, the problem with that is that they were able to acquire all of the diamond mines. But it's not even a problem, dude. There's lab-grown diamonds that have driven down the price. Most millennials, at least from that generation and younger, just don't buy a fucking De Beers diamond. They just buy, if they want a diamond, they get a artificial one for way cheaper. I want blood on my diamonds. I don't want that fake shit. Interesting. I know a guy who owns 50% of the entire supply of a single CS2 skin and hides most of them all in a storage container to drive up the price. Why is this allowed? Do you think I'm fucking Gabe Newell? I mean, I'm fucking Gabe Newell to try and get access to his bunker, but I'm not fucking Gabe Newell, if you know what I'm saying. At least Aiden, you think? Yeah, I don't know. That seems like a fucking game problem. Or if it's even a problem at all. Just don't get that skin. You know what I'm saying? There's a gajillion skins. Just don't get that one. Are you so desperate for that particular skin that he's price gouging you? But I need it. It's not like it's medicine for something you have. It's just a Counter-Strike skin. One of a zillion. As Jay-Z said, y'all spend real money on fake watches shockingly. This is funnier to me because this is a first-time chatter. I like that because you just kind of like showed up to the group and like came in with a line. You know what I'm saying? You came in with a line. You didn't come in with a. I like that. I like you're coming as a cool guy. I respect that, Two-Face. I respect that. It's a power move. I picture you like leaning up against the side of the bar. You know, you got like a toothpick in and like a hat pulled over your eyes, and we're all talking about something stupid, and you kind of just come in with a line. It's like, who's this guy? Who's this guy? This guy's cool. Anyway, I'm sure you're going to be spamming Glizzy as your next 10 messages, but I appreciate you for now. Let he who has not spammed Glizzy cast the first stone. It's fucking true. It's fucking amen, brother. Man, I really haven't planned out how I want to do this. Was there a major piece of news today that I mean, I have a presentation. I want to talk about. I don't even want to say it yet. Trump says he signed a deal with China. Bro has been saying that. Not news. Not news. He said, I mean, we don't even really have the one with the UK. There's no deals. There's no actual deals. Oh, this is such a small, stupid story. But I want to talk about it anyway. And you guys probably don't even know who this fucking is. But do you know who Anna Wintour is? Wintour? Okay. She's like this editor of Vogue. You probably know her as, if you know them. The reason I bring this up is because I recently, and this is like not super recently, but like within 4 or 5 months, I finally saw the movie Devil Wears Prada. I've never seen it before. And I don't understand why anyone likes it. I wanted to bring it up. I thought I want someone to explain to me why anyone likes this movie. That's what I want. I want someone to explain it to me. It's Whiplash before Whiplash? Okay. Again, it's been a few months. I'm trying to think of like, I remember thinking, I thought this woman, here's what I'll say. The movie makes it seem near the end that we see some side of her that shows why she's acts this way. But you don't really. I'll explain the movie. She is a head of a magazine who is a gigantic asshole to everyone around her. Like truly horrendous to work with. Truly mean to her employees. Throws things at them, insults them, calls them fat. Just horrible. Just a horrible boss. And then, you know, they kind of like at the end go like, well, she's under a lot of pressure. It's like, she's like ruined so many people's lives. So I thought that part was bad, but also every character in this movie is really unlikable. Like even the main character, Anne Hathaway's boyfriend, is such a whiny bitch. He's like his girlfriend gets the opportunity for this big job, and so like she can't, you know, she's like an hour late to his birthday or something, and he won't talk to her. He won't fucking talk to her. He's like, you fucking changed. Here in Mexico is an ultra hit movie. It was a hit movie here. Devil Wears Prada was a massive hit. And I always thought, oh, it's Meryl Streep. It's probably a fucking incredible movie. And then I saw it and I was like, why does everyone like this movie? And then it's the Social Network movie for the girlies. Is it like Social Network at all? It's fun. Maybe it's fun. Maybe it's fun. If F1 is a dad movie, this is a mom movie. I don't think it's a mom movie though. I feel like most women like this movie, but even guys like this movie. It's just a popular movie. Watch a pretentious video essay about it right now. Okay. I couldn't find a video essay, but I found someone on R Movies who agrees with me. So that counts as proof. I found someone, I just Googled Devil Wears Prada boyfriend, and I got this thing that says, Andrea's friends and boyfriend suck. And they do. Her boyfriend and her friend Lily acts like getting into the fashion industry is an atrocious act. They act like she's selling drugs. They do. All her friends act so fucking weird. And then there's this one time, I remember this scene that was pissing me off. She just got this new job, all right? She needs the money. And she's got her phone out and her boss is calling her. And then her two friends steal her phone and start monkeying in the middle, throwing it around. After she brought them like $800 worth of free gifts. And she's like, give my phone back. Please. She asked very nicely. And they're like, throwing it away. And then finally she crashes out, like, give me my fucking phone. And grabs it. And they're like, wow. What the fuck happened to you, Andrea? You fucking changed. You're so stuck up now. It's like, it's so fucked up. Yeah, okay, and then another thing. Another part of this movie. Okay, it's all coming back to me. Because I remembered I was mad at it, but I couldn't remember why, and now it's all coming back to me. I also remember, okay, so the emotional, like, low point of the movie where it's like, oh, we need to change, is when she is working so hard. Oh, she gets an opportunity to go to a really big fashion event and meet big stars or whatever. Or I think like get a chance to get a writing gig. It's important it's an important night. But because of that, she misses her boyfriend's birthday. So, I can get a fucking photo. Anne Hathaway, Devil Wears Prada. Okay. Look. Just watch the fucking scene, dude. Wow. What a powerful fucking movie. Cinema. Fucking cinema, dude. Doesn't Emily get hit by a car and Anne takes her bird to the rest of the week? It's actually the one who's ran her over. Yeah, I think she does get hit by a car. But I think she gets hit by a car because Anne's character, like, tells her to go pick up some dry cleaning as a way to get her out of the office or something. And then she... Yeah, something like that. Something like that. It was, like, partially her fault. Have you been solo watching more X-Files? No, I haven't. The old car magnet in the purse. No, I haven't. I might someday. Dude, why is my shirt open? Have you finished the Studio S01? Did you let Studio? Why does that sound familiar? The studio. Oh, yeah, I have. Yeah, I've seen the whole thing. Yeah, I watched the whole studio. I think I recommended it to people in this chat. I think a lot of people, that was their first time hearing about it. Yeah, it's great. I love that show. It's really funny. It's like really, really funny. Speaking of really funny, let's watch Almost Friday. There's a new Almost Friday. Why fucking not? Dude, I'm a little bit... Almost Friday. When you forget to save someone's number is what it's called.
Fragments from a man's past resurface.
It is Almost Friday.
Faded memories like a haunting specter. Can he put the pieces together to see the full picture? Can he untangle the past without stirring the ghosts he's worked so hard to bury? No, she doesn't live here anymore.
Last week one was great. Last week's Almost Friday was one of their best ever.
April 5th. Liam Cullen is enjoying a pleasant afternoon at home when he receives an unexpected message.
I was sitting on the couch watching TV when all of a sudden I got a text message. Huh?
From The Rock?
Who could that be? Yo, miss you, my brother. Back home for the weekend. What are you doing? The text was nice. It seemed like someone I knew pretty well. I checked who sent it. I didn't have the number saved.
Liam shuddered in horror, as if a hand from the cosmos lurched out and wrapped its icy fingers around his luxurious velvet throat.
I was sitting in my room watching TV when Liam called me, and I could tell right away something was wrong. Hey, what's up?
Hey, do you have this number saved?
I typed in the number Liam gave me, and nothing showed up in my contacts. Maybe you could try Googling it.
Good idea.
I mean, sometimes they actually have like fake spam numbers that'll pretend to text you. It'll be like, dude, I feel like I've got one of these recently. It'll just be like, yo, last night was crazy. And then you respond, and then it's fake. It's like, who is this? And then they just want to, yeah, it's just a test to see if you're a human being with a number.
Any luck?
Nothing. Shoot.
Maybe we could ask Billy.
Good idea.
Billy, help! Billy!
I'm trying.
I was laying down in bed watching TV when Will called me in.
Hey, Billy, do you have this number saved? 657-432-740.
Yeah, I don't have it.
Dang it. Who the heck could this be?
What's the area code?
657. So it's definitely someone I know.
When Liam told me the area code was the same as his, I felt really bad. Because it's clearly someone he knows.
I felt useless. You never want to let down a friend in need, so I had to try just one more idea. Why don't I call the number from my phone on video? That way, we can see who it is.
Liam and Will were playing a dangerous and sexy game, conjuring the ghosts of the past. But sometimes, when the stakes are this high, you gotta go all in.
All right, Liam gave me the number. I typed it in. I'm gonna call him now.
What? I was confused when I heard a Jamaican man on the phone. I thought, wait, I don't know any Jamaicans.
I could tell right away that this was one of Liam's close friends because they're all bad guys. What'd you say? Hey, you're breaking up actually. Can you repeat that?
Dang it. We almost had it.
Hey man, sorry I'm driving. Want a link tonight?
I just got a text too. Send me that address. What are we gonna do? I have to respond now.
You only have one choice. You have to just ask who it is.
Hey, sorry, man. I lost your number. Who is this?
Kind of an asshole move.
Gonna big time you like that? It's Josh. Oh, it's Josh.
Oh, Josh.
When I realized it was my buddy Josh, I was relieved. I'll text him back. Oh, nice. I'll grab some beers. I'm in the same spot.
Confronting the past can be a daunting challenge.
Is that it?
Fortunately,
Is that-
Liam was able to solve his mystery. Or so he thought.
Okay.
Hey guys,
It was Josh Duran. A completely different Josh than I was expecting.
Josh doesn't suck, but he's not fun to hang out with.
I brought a ton of board games. Billy, can you go grab them from my Jeep truck?
It was a nightmare come to life. Josh Cole is our really good buddy, but Josh Duran, we just don't know him that well.
I got the guys into the situation and I had to get them out. Actually, I think we're pretty tired. I think we're just gonna go to bed.
Oh, no worries. Maybe we can do something tomorrow.
Yeah, maybe.
Poor Josh Duran,
Yeah, I
dude. He wants
was
to
really
play board
glad Liam
games.
decided to lie to Josh. I didn't want to hang out with him.
Sorry about that, guys.
Liam, I don't want you to worry about that.
This doesn't change anything between us.
Thanks for the help.
What began as a small ripple in Liam's memory quickly turned into a wave that pulled him under. He was no longer a messenger. He was a receiver, and the door was wide open. And some doors, once opened, simply can't be closed. And just remember, when you lay
I can't
down,
believe that's
put your
it.
head on the pillow tonight, this could happen to you.
What a stupid fucking sketch. You ever think you're a Josh Cole, but you realize you're a Josh Duran? I mean, I like board games, so. Post-credit scene? Nah, it's like an ad. They always do an ad at the end. You can't all be winners? That's fine. It's funny. It's funny. The White House released a daddy music video. I can't even tell if you're joking. I actually can't tell if you're joking.
I just wanna get you.
Oh my God, they really did. Well, anyway, yeah, Mark Rutte, General Secretary of NATO, called Donald J. Trump daddy. And I guess they're leaning into it. W edit. Yeah, I mean, obviously I'm full MAGA now. Now that I've seen that daddy's home, I got chills. Not as bad as a tan suit. No, not nearly. Was that on the official White House page? Yes. That was from the White House official verified account. And then the caption for it was "Daddy's home. Hey, 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 daddy." Top comment is, "This is the cringiest collapse of a nation in real time." That's fucking crazy. It is presidential, though. I got to be honest with you. You want a president who's going to call themselves daddy all the time. I think Washington did that, right? Or Lincoln? They were constantly doing this. Do you think there's a politician leader who could pull it off without being cringe? No? No, I don't think so. No, I think it's inherently cringe to do that. Obama in a beige suit could. Maybe Obama in like a presidential dark gray suit, but not in a tan one. Our glorious leader Xi could. Oh, dude. I mean, if you don't live in China, it would be funny. But if you lived in China and Xi Jinping started posting daddy's home fan cams, you would think it is degrading the office. I think we should watch Summoning Salt, is what I think we should do. Because I heard it's a good one. It got 1.5 million views very quickly. And it's not a 3-hour one. So it's like 40 minutes. Robert Stacks Unsolved. Thank you for the gifties. Thank you for the gifties. Much appreciated. PogCham. Can I villain share this one?
This video contains
Wait, villain share the Summoning Salt? What could be bad about it? I want to watch it. This would be cool.
flashing lights that may affect viewers with photosensitive epilepsy.
I'm going to give my viewers seizures. That's cool. That's a cool thing to do. Ideally, some of you will have a seizure while watching this, and then we'll have
Viewer discretion is advised. Super Smash Bros. Melee. It's one of the most popular fighting games today.
True.
Of course, it's best known for its competitive multiplayer, but the game also has a single-player mode with different mini-games.
I spent so many hours
The
in
most
this.
famous one, Target Test. Colloquially known
Living in fucking cold-ass Germany. On a NATO base, actually, for example. Just playing the single-player Melee by myself.
as Break the Targets. It's pretty simple on its surface. You must break 10 targets through a course in the shortest time possible. Melee has 25 characters, and each one has their own
these
Break
are
the
fun.
Targets level with 10 targets scattered around. The layout is usually tailored to the character's specific moves and abilities, sometimes resembling a level from that character's original game. Melee keeps track of your fastest time on each of the 25 levels,
These were fun.
as well as your total time added up across all levels, known as your
Okay, so I think I have seen one of these in my life, which was maybe the Falco one, where they did some absolutely banana shit to kill all the targets. I thought they did it in like 2 seconds.
total high score. Players fell in love with Break the Targets when the game came out. Thousands of players spent hours on each level. They posted their fastest times online. Shortly after Melee's release in 2001, the world records on each of the
Are they not individualized levels in the new Smash Bros? Like in Ultimate, is it all the same characters shooting the same targets? Because in Melee, it's a different level for every character. It's all the same now? That's so cringe.
25 levels added up to about 4
That's
minutes.
so cringe.
And that number plummeted quickly. The community-wide
Oh, yeah, there's
total high
80
score
characters, I
went
see.
down second by second, gradually getting closer to 3 minutes. By February 2008, the total high score was all the way down to 303.88. And then, things really slowed down. Over the next 10 years, 2009 through 2019, the total high score only went down by an average of 1/3 of a second per year. They went from
Is he going to start this video in COVID?
lowering it 60 seconds in 6 years to just 3 seconds in a full decade. It was approaching a limit. These levels had become so optimized that they'd run out of time to save. After all, there were only so many options for going faster. As of 2019, the community-wide total high score stood at 3 minutes flat .87.
Okay.
Just 1 second away from the sub-3 barrier.
Okay.
Yet at the current rate of improvement, it was unclear if they'd ever make it there. On February 15th,
course they will.
since records were so hard to come by, players in the Smash Stadium Discord talked about setting cash bounties to lower certain Break the Targets records.
Okay.
But then, Sock Dude threw another idea out there.
Not Sock Dude.
What if they offered money for every frame of improvement until the total high score came down under 3 minutes? Save State was the first to contribute, offering $10 per frame for every frame up until sub 3.
That's
And from there, it started to snowball. Sock Dude and Moody, the number 1 and number 2 ranked players in Break the Targets, offered $10 and €10 per frame respectively.
Okay.
Before long, there was a total of 1,600.
I mean, I like the idea of top players putting in a bounty for people to try to beat them. That's kind of cool. That shows a real competitive spirit.
$58.90 riding on this, or roughly $31 per frame. Multiple Reddit posts were made, building excitement for Melee players around the world to take on the challenge, the quest for sub 3. But for all the excitement around the bounty, there was also skepticism. These records had been optimized and nearly perfected over the last 18 years.
Bro,
to make it to sub 3,
there is no speedrunning record that would survive COVID. The idea that it's so impossible to improve, they're probably going to end up, knowing Summoning Salt and the length of this video, they're going to end up at like fucking 2 minutes by the end of this.
Players would have to find a way to save 53 frames across 25 levels. It may not sound like much, but these were already 25 of the most optimized world records in all of video gaming. How do you save time when there might not even be time left to save?
They will. They fucking will. Oh, sick.
Hey there. I don't believe we've met before. I'm Summoning Salt, and I'm here today because I
Face reveal!
Introducing.
Face reveal! He's handsome. Look at that nice suit, too. He's mogging us.
For the very first time ever, the Summoning Salt VHS collection. Now look, I love physical media, and I love the nostalgia of VHS. This is something I've wanted to do for a long time. Every few months, I'm going to be re-releasing one of my videos on VHS. And the first entry in the Summoning Salt VHS collection, Halo 2. It comes with professionally designed, beautiful box art with a teal VHS tape inside. Of course, the tape itself is playable, featuring my 2023
That's
upload,
cool.
The History of Halo 2
That's
World
cool.
Records, edited to 4:3. I even updated the video, showing off what's happened to the world record since the
No
original
way.
release. The only place to watch that is on.
That's stupid. That's not stupid. No, I think it's a cool collector's item. Don't put your updated speedrunning record on VH. Nobody has a player, dude. Nobody even has a player.
This tape. I want to do a whole bunch of these going forward, with all my classic videos getting a release. The better this first one does, the more I'll be able to do in the future. To purchase it, go to summoningsalt.com. Hit view full details for the full description and pictures. It's available for $34.99
that's one of the coolest
for the
pieces of
next
YouTube
14
merch I've
days
seen.
only, then it's gone forever. Start your Summoning Salt VHS collection today. That's summoningsalt.com. Only available for the next 14 days. It's February 15th, 2019, and these are the 25 world records in Break the Targets,
What's the fastest
along
one?
with the year they were set.
Mr. Game &
As you
Watch
can
is
see,
2.82
they were
seconds.
each just a few seconds long, and many had been standing for years. Some were set not long after the game came out, and remained unbroken more than a decade later.
That's crazy.
To start making progress on the bounty, someone would have to break.
That's crazy because in 2007 and shit, did they even? I guess they did have like wave dashing and everything. Okay. But there's been new techniques. I'm surprised there's nothing new since 07 that could
break one of these records. Who was most likely to do that? Well, there were 3 tiers of Break the Targets players. Tier 1 was the game's very best players. That's Sock Dude and Moody. Including ties, Sock Dude and Moody held a collective 18 of the 25 world records. They also had the 2 lowest individual total high scores. not far off from the community-wide total high score of 3 flat .87. These two guys were the most likely to make progress on the bounty.
Okay.
The second tier included players who held 1 or 2 records but weren't on the same level as Sockdude and Moody. Players like Chaos 6, Sam the Digital, and Demon 9. Highly skilled players, but
Demon
not
9.
quite as dominant.
It's my dark
The
horse
bounty
pick.
could be just what they need to chase more world records. And then, the third tier was the unknowns. Players who had never set a record.
Okay, I'm just thinking about it now. If you could save 1 second on any one of these 25 runs, you instantly break 3 minutes and you win. You're telling me there's not 1 second to save in any one of these runs?
But with money on the line and the chance to be a part of something greater, they were going to do all they could to take even a single frame off of one world record.
The runs like 5 seconds?
So you had the favorites,
An 8
the
second run go to
underdogs,
7?
and the unknowns.
Not impossible.
Within days of the bounty's announcement, the community was buzzing, an activity level that hadn't been seen in years. Yet, for all the excitement, there was a lot of work ahead. Someone had to kick off the bounty by breaking a record, and all 25 of them had many, many years of history. But as optimized and as battle-tested as they were, maybe some of the oldest ones weren't quite optimal. In over 12 years, perhaps something had been missed.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at Donkey Kong.
Okay. I like this.
This was the second oldest standing record in the game.
You can
a
get
time
the
of
full run.
8.41 performed by Zampa back in November 2007. Zampa was one of the original legends of Break the Targets.
Ahead of the game.
At one point in 2009, he held nearly half of all Break the Targets records by himself. Now, a decade later, only one of those records was still standing
That's
untied.
still sick.
Donkey Kong in 8.41
That's still
seconds.
sick.
Why had this record stood unbeaten for the past 12 years? Well, this is everything that went into Zampa's time. Targets 1 and 2 are on either side of DK as he spawns in. It's blocked by the text, but Zampa starts by doing a pivot, where during the initial dash you press the opposite direction for only 1 frame to turn around in place. He then jabs, which breaks both of the first 2 targets.
Okay.
Targets 3 and 4 are then fairly straightforward
That
as he
graphic
just
was
jumps up
awesome.
and breaks them. To reach the next targets, Zampa performs a series of wave lands, which is a variation of wave dashing. By doing an air dodge into
Real
the
meta
ground
heads
after
no?
jumping, you essentially cut off each jump early and instantly land, then become actionable again after just a few frames. This let Zampa do several jumps in rapid succession. Just after hitting target 5, he performs another move called an edge cancel. You usually have lag upon landing, but you can cancel that
He's
lag by
edging?
entering the teetering animation that a character gets from being on the very edge of a platform. So, he lands as far to the left as possible to teeter, then buffers a dash right to keep moving as quickly as possible. The next 3 targets are straightforward. He breaks targets 6 and 7 in the air, then he does a neutral aerial to break target 8.
Okay.
Finally, Zampa does another edge cancel after target 9, then does a fast fall by pressing down while falling, and then hits target 10 with
Perfect.
another neutral aerial.
Flawless.
Stage complete. All the inputs I just described were performed by Zampa in 8.41 seconds. In real time, it looks like this.
Yeah, that's why I like this video, because they're going to show the full run instead of like cuts. This quality's crazy though.
It all had to be done
Yeah, new
as
summoning
fast
salt.
as possible, not wasting frames anywhere, and that's exactly what Zampa had done back in 2007. Now, in 2019, it was still the world record.
Yeah, he's got
That
it.
being said, it wasn't perfect.
Oh.
There was one more known optimization players could go for. After breaking the 7th target, you could do one more wave land on the girder below to potentially save a few frames. But even with this improvement, it would still be incredibly hard to beat Zampa. His movement was essentially perfect.
That
From
is
the
just a
pivot at the
frame.
start, all the wave lands and edge cancels, beating him would be tough. But at least there was a path to doing so, unlike many of the other records. So, who would be the first to try and capitalize on this DK time
So-
save? Sock Dude?
Wait, I'm sorry. So is this done all at once and timed that way, or is it your combined best times? Does that mean like to get the world record, you have to do every single break the targets perfectly? It's your combined best. Okay. It's the sum of best. I see. Okay. You don't have to do it like all in one run live. I see. They're doing, okay, I get it better. Okay. I was like, damn. Like that means you have to do that run perfectly. Okay. Save one frame and do everything else perfect. That would be impossible. Okay.
Or Moody, or perhaps an underdog like Chaos 6? Nope.
Okay, so really it's all about someone finding a better route on any level. That's what this is about. Okay, I see.
It was Jerry 3333.
Okay.
Now, Jerry wasn't really an unknown player. He'd set a few records in the past, but he didn't hold...
Okay, that's harder than I thought. Because I figured, like, whatever human had the last record, like, made some mistakes. You just do it better, you know? It's like, you have to just do 1 second. But it's not... Okay, I get it.
Any records when the bounty was posted. Yet, he recognized an opportunity on DK, and a couple weeks into the bounty, he started playing it heavily. After 10 hours of playing, he plateaued at 8.48, just a few frames off the record. To improve the rest of the way, Jerry would have to be perfect. All the moves had to be done as fast as possible. He continued over the next few weeks, struggling and posting his progress in Discord. And finally, on March 19th, Jerry 3333 did this.
Oh, it looks so much nicer. Waveland? Boom!
Jerry saved exactly 1 frame over Zampa. It was just enough to claim the first reward
Give
of the
that
bounty,
man his money!
$31 to Jerry. It took an entire month to get there, but finally there was progress, and Zampa's ancient
world record improvement from Jerry. Nobody, not even me, saw that coming from Jerry. Jerry talks about himself in the third person.
World record was obsolete. Now, here's the crazy part. Although Zampa's record stood for 12 years, Jerry's new record only stood for a single day.
That's crazy.
On March 20th, it was Sock Dude getting another 1 frame improvement, 8.38. Sock Dude used the exact same strategy as Jerry, but executed it just slightly faster. Of course, Sock Dude held so many...
Dude, in the Hitman community, I mean, you guys, if you've seen the video, you know Tupla, right? But Tupla is known as like the -1 assassin in the Hitman community, because anytime someone invents a new strategy, he just steals it, does it better, like executes it better, and gets 1 second faster. Like he's done this to like everybody on almost every individual level. He always like he doesn't even he just waits for something to get uploaded. Oh, that's how you do it. Does it faster. And
he break the targets records, and had been doing this sort of thing for years. It wasn't surprising that he was able to pull through with a faster time. So after a little over a month of the bounty, the first 2 frames had been collected. 51 frames to go. Where to look next? Well, some of these older records seem to have a bit of potential. So let's try another old one. Bowser.
1 frame down.
This record was also set back in 2007, just 4 days after the long-lasting Donkey Kong record. It was a time of 8.20 seconds by a player named Marth1. We need to talk about Marth1.
Okay.
He is the closest thing Break the Targets has to Matt Turk. From 2004 to 2013, he set world records on 22 of the game's 25 levels.
That's pretty fire.
He had insane versatility, jumping from character to character with no loss of skill. Many of his times stood for years, even over a decade, and players had no idea how to beat them. Despite mostly being done by 2007, his total high score still ranked 3rd in the world in 2019.
That's pretty incredible.
In that huge length of time,
that's pretty incredible.
Only Sock Dude and Moody had been able to pass him. Of all Marth1's world records, perhaps his finest was his Bowser record of 8.20, still standing more than 11 years after it was set. And a big reason why is because of a concept not found in most other levels: RNG.
What?
To break the first target at the start, you jump up and hit it with a flame. Each flame Bowser shoots randomly comes out at one of 65,536 angles, located between 35 and 55 degrees. Because of Bowser's positioning when you jump, you need to randomly get a flame that's high enough, or else all the flames will go underneath the target. To increase your chances, you can jump further to the right, making it more likely a flame will contact the target. But the more you move to the right, the more time you lose, as ultimately you want to move left for the next targets. In Marth 1's 8.20, he barely moved right at all, meaning he had to do a lot of restarting. Beyond that, you also need good flame RNG to break the third target, and then you have to deal with the flipper. Hard enough, it's essentially random. You need it to knock you up to the left, and that's determined by extremely precise positioning with the control stick. You must hold specific directions on consecutive frames. It's known as smash directional influence. So, that's effectively 3 pieces of RNG in the first 3 targets.
Well, Smash DI's not
This was a daunting record to try and beat. But in early April, Chaos 6 started playing Bowser. Chaos was a 15-year veteran of Melee, but he'd beaten a world record only once before, Roy back in 2013. Chaos played for hours every day trying for the Bowser record, and took his time down to 8.25. Other players joined in, including Jerry3333 and Sockdude. But on April 10th...
I mean, Smash DI really just isn't. Like, Smash DI is whenever you get hit in Melee, your character freezes for a second and it goes like in a stun. And it's just the way that Smash makes it looks cool. But while you're in that stun, if you smash your controller in a direction, your character will physically move in that direction. And like pro players use it all the time. Like you'll hit them with a shine or something, and instead of going a little bit right way, they'll go super far. It's so hard, it's essentially random. Yeah, but it's not. I just don't think that's true. People do it consistently in tournaments.
Joined in, including Jerry3333 and Sockdude. But on April 10th, Chaos beat them all.
Maybe it's different with this thing.
It took 12 years to beat Marth 1 by 1 frame, but it was good enough for the bounty. He had a tiny lead after the RNG gauntlet at the start, and preserved that lead all the way to the end.
Nice.
$31 to Chaos 6 for a 1 frame improvement. 50 frames to go.
50? Oh my god, wait, really?
This was very slow progress. The bounty had been active for 2 months, and there had been 3 frames of improvement. Different players had chipped in here and there, yet it hadn't led to anything huge. The remaining 50 frames were going to take years at this rate. But that was about to change. As it turned out,
somebody show up.
Chaos's record on Bowser kicked off a flurry of
Weed
activity.
Smoker 420 shows up.
In the span of just 1 week in April 2019, 4 new records were set for the bounty. The first was the Bowser record that you just saw. The next 2 both came on the same day by the same player,
Luigi and
a legend
Roy.
by the name of Sam the Digital.
Okay, let's go,
Much
Sam.
like Chaos or Jerry, Sam the Digital wasn't considered one of the very best Break the Targets players, but he had a few characters he specialized in, ones where he had set world records in the past.
Okay.
2 of those characters were Roy and Luigi, and on April 11th, he scored 1 frame improvements on both of them. With Roy, the most important part is the leftward velocity you get from the flipper midway through. Like Bowser, you more or less need to flick the control stick and hope for the best.
Okay.
In 2 frames, you go from up and right to full left. Sam the Digital was 1 frame ahead by the time he boosted off the flipper, and he preserved that lead over the final 5 targets.
That was sick.
New world record.
That was a sick run.
Then there was Luigi. This is an interesting one since the level is so short. All 10 targets can be broken in just over 3 seconds. You press A on the first frame to break target 1. Jump, then re-jump, and press B to fireball and break target 2.
Okay.
Fast fall, then fireball target 3. Slip off the GameCube, wait a few frames, then fast fall, double jump, then do a back aerial to break both targets 4 and 5 at once. Cancel rightward drift by briefly holding left, then time another fireball to break targets 6 and 7. Fast fall again, drift left, then down plus B on the first frame possible while standing far to the right to break targets 8 and 9.
Okay.
Finally, slide to the right and break target 10.
That's a fire run.
In real time,
How do you
must do all of that in 3 seconds.
Boom, boom, boom. Boom. That's sick.
Now, the only way for Sam the Digital to save time here was to do everything frame perfectly. Every move and input on the first possible frame. And on the same day as his Roy record, Sam the Digital managed to save one more frame.
So that's perfect then. That one can't be
Through
improved.
7 targets, he was even with the record.
I don't see how you can beat that.
But Sam landed further left on the bottom, meaning he hit both targets 8 and 9 on the same frame. The previous record had to wait an extra frame for target 9 to move closer to him.
Goofy ass
That
slow.
made it 2 frames across 2 fights, and $62 for Sam the Digital. Although he didn't care about the bounty itself too much, he was just excited to see the community so active. Through April and May, a few more frames were saved. On April 16th, a relative newcomer named Mega Cortification saved a frame on Young Link. This is a very unique level, as 7 out of 10 targets are broken by a boomerang. These boomerangs always travel at the same speed, so the only place you can gain or lose time is on the other 3 targets and your movement between boomerang throws.
Okay.
You throw a boomerang at the bottom, then at the top, after double jumping and grabbing a bomb, you must throw a second boomerang at the perfect angle. It has to bounce off this edge, then go behind Young Link and hit the enclosed target. The difficulty of the 4.87 world record came from this boomerang throw, combined with the movement from just before it. But on April 16th, Mega Cortification came through with a 1 frame improvement, thanks to throwing the second boomerang 1 frame sooner.
Okay.
Then in May, it was Sam the Digital who broke the Bowser record again, and this one was notable. It was the first world record for the bounty by more than 1 frame. He saved a whopping 2 frames on Bowser. The time save all came at the start, as he landed on the first platform 2 frames ahead of Chaos 6's record. He then broke the final 9 targets in the exact same amount of time. After a few months of the bounty, somewhat surprisingly, Sam the Digital was leading the charge.
Sam's the GOAT, bro.
But it was still progressing at a snail's pace. These were all 1 to 2 frame improvements, with 45 frames to go. It would really be helpful if players could find a way to save a chunk of that time. Did any of these records have the potential for that kind of improvement? Well, ever since the inception of the bounty, there was one character that players had their eyes on. Because even though his strategy was so difficult, there was believed to be room for some serious time save.
Sheik players, rise up!
This is Fox.
Oh, okay.
First, an epilepsy warning, as this level has flashing lights. For many years, the record on Fox's stage was stuck at 6.68 seconds by Zampa, set all the way back in January 2008. It was a hard record to beat for one specific reason. Fox has an extremely technical level. There's a huge variety of moves used, and just executing the lasers break the target. Brutal. After breaking the first 3 targets, you have to climb a big wall as quickly as possible. That's done by doing a double jump, a wall jump, then an upward air dodge. It's very easy to lose frames here, especially on the air dodge.
Okay.
Then later, there's the wall jump before the 7th target, where you barely have enough time to build up the necessary speed. Zampa's record did a great job with all this, which is why it stood for 11 years.
11 years would be a good time.
Just before the bounty, in 2019, a group of players made a push to beat it. They found a new strategy for the tough wall jump, and after a few new records, the time was down to 6.52 by Sock Dude. Now, that seems like it may have pushed it out of contention for the bounty.
How is it a new strategy?
A very recent record set by the game's best player. But if there was one person who had what it took to beat Sock Dude, it was Moody.
Let's go, Moody. Show me what you got.
Moody had been doing this for a long time. He was setting world records as far back as 2006, first specializing in Kirby before moving on to other characters. Now, 13 years later, the only player ahead of him was Sock
thanks
Dude.
for the gifties!
Moody thought he could get a little bit more out of the Fox record.
Whoa,
the key was going to
Reese's
be how
Pieces.
fast he could scale the wall
No
at the start,
chat messages,
and how effectively
20
he could do the
gifties?
later wall jump.
Fucking
On July
thank you.
20th,
Thanks for 20
2019,
bandos.
Moody did this. This was a 3-frame improvement to the world record, the biggest claim to the bounty so far. But he was actually a frame behind the world record after the climb. He made up a ton of time with his movement around the wall jump.
So you get one more.
So there was still room to go lower. And a few days later, he got one final improvement. 6.40.
Sheesh.
Another 4 frames off the record. That made it a total of 7 frames shaved off in just 5 days from Moody.
Okay, Moody's
This
the
is
go.
what happens when an elite player gets his hands on an unoptimized record. The 1 frame improvement.
Okay, let's not call it an unoptimized record when you're saving 3 frames after 12 years. It's pretty optimized. It's like very, very, very optimized. It's
Improvements from lower runners were great, but Moody had nearly matched their combined
It's not
efforts
like it
on
was
just
shitty.
one level. These big chunks were exactly what the community needed. Finding more like this was going to be crucial. Which of these other 24 levels would be a good candidate? As it turned out, Samus had some untapped potential too. Much like Fox, it was
Samus.
considered a difficult strategy, with an enormous amount of moves in rapid succession.
Doesn't Samus have
But
like
the existing record
super
was
wave
slightly
dashes and shit?
unoptimized, and it followed the exact same script as Fox. A top player swooped in, this time Sock Dude, and saved 3 frames through faster execution. Another nice save for the bounty. We're seeing a pattern. The underdogs and unknowns had chipped in here and there with 1 to 2 frame improvements, but Sock Dude and Moody were taking it a step further. They were the 2 best players, and once they set their targets on an unoptimized record, it was game over. 3, 4
Set their
frames,
targets.
even potentially more. With Sock Dude and Moody on the case, perhaps this bounty wouldn't last much longer. But after all the activity of the summer, heading into the fall, things slowed down again. During the end of August and all through September, no claims were made on the bounty. The problem was that the obvious time saves had already been identified and made. Sock Dude and
We
Moody
need
could play all
non-obvious
they
ones.
wanted, but if they couldn't find a place to go faster, it didn't matter. After 6 months of playing from the community, they were still 35 frames short. By October, it had been a month and a half since the last improvement. To try and get
But
things
can't there be a
going,
new
there was
strategy?
one more option. A break the glass in case of emergency time save.
Okay.
A strategy considered too difficult for humans.
Okay.
If they wanted any chance at sub 3, it had to happen now. This is Jigglypuff.
Get Hungry Box in
First, another epilepsy warning for flashing lights in this level. The world
It's a
record here was 7.62
gamer
for
emergency?
2015. It was set by Sock Dude, so you know it was a good record. Here's how Jigglypuff's level works.
I
You're
remember
essentially
this one.
making your way through a snaking corridor, breaking targets along the path. After the first turn back, there are moving blocks that try to impede your progress. You must navigate around them. While the
Ooh,
fastest
went
movement
under.
through the level is intricate, the record strategy itself was pretty simple. Sock Dude broke the targets on either side
you
of him
just
at the
move
start,
towards it and break
broke
'em.
2 more targets in front of him, then broke targets 5 and 6 while dodging blocks, and finally slipped under a moving block
That's
to
pretty
make
sick.
it back left,
That's
where he
pretty
destroyed
sick.
the final 4 targets in the air. It's just a simple S pattern, and yet, this basic level had one of the biggest untapped time saves in the entire game.
Okay.
There was a glitch here that could save 11 frames.
Okay.
At the end of the second corridor, if you slide off the edge of the final platform just as a moving block is coming, you'll get squished between the 2 blocks. Once these blocks overlap each other, Jigglypuff gets pushed through to the corridor below. It's unclear exactly who discovered this clip. We have footage of it from as far back as 2005, and it is a big time save over going around.
Yeah?
11 frames would be huge for the sub 3
That would be. We
push.
need this.
So,
Somebody
why
do
hadn't
it.
anybody done it yet?
I'll do it.
Well,
It'll be
to
easy.
do the clip, you have to arrive early enough to slide off the edge before the moving block comes. And in the world record, the fastest known execution by the fastest player, Sock Dude arrived at the block 5 frames too slow to do the clip. If anybody could manage to get there in time, they'd be able to give the bounty its biggest award yet. And that's exactly what
Boot it up,
Moody
little bro.
wanted to do.
I don't want to embarrass
He had
these
to
guys.
find a way to be
They got their
5
big
frames
day.
faster
Somebody saw
than
the video.
Sock Dude. Obviously not an easy task.
But I could probably break all these
To
records.
his surprise, he had several attempts that actually got the floor clip. Problem was, on each attempt, he'd missed at least 1 target on the way. When you break a target, you freeze for a few frames, so had he not missed targets, Moody wouldn't have made it in time.
I see.
He did these attempts off and on for months, but he always either missed multiple targets or missed the clip. He just wasn't fast enough. Moody had to save time earlier. So he looked at the first 2 targets and decided to do a modified version of the task strat. Instead of using a neutral aerial, he used a down aerial to destroy the targets, which freezes the character for fewer frames.
Okay.
The downside is that it puts you in a harder position to break target 3, so preserving the frames that you saved can be difficult. With newfound motivation,
Very
Moody
soon.
poured in the attempts, and a couple days later, Moody did this.
Got this run. Oh my goats!
A 12-frame improvement to the world record. This was the biggest improvement to any break the target record in more than 6 years. Other players were amazed that he pulled this off.
Easy
but
money.
Moody still wasn't done. The next day, a player named Bobby posted a suggestion to Moody. He could do a reverse forward aerial during the floor clip to break target 7 faster, potentially saving a few more frames. Over the next week, he did more attempts trying to save those frames, and on October 13th, he came through with yet another world record.
That's
5 more frames, for a total of 17 frames
That's
saved
right.
on Jigglypuff. Moody earned over $530
That's
and took
right.
out nearly half the remaining bounty
I like
frames
this bounty
all
thing,
at
it's cool.
once. He was now leading the way to sub 3.
Bro,
With under a third of a second.
Moody at 24, next guy at 4. Moody's got more than everyone else combined times 2.
He was now leading the way to sub 3. With under a third of a second to go, there were a few options where players could go from here. They could keep looking for more big improvements like Jigglypuff, hoping to take big chunks off at a time. But another easier option was to simply clean up more recent records. The Samus world record, set just a couple months ago by Sockdude, was a good example of this. It was a new record, but since Samus was such a hard level, Sockdude felt there was room to optimize it further. That being said, he didn't have any plans to do so, and Moody wasn't playing Samus either. So, somebody else would have to step up.
Like
It's
the
time
music.
to talk about somebody new. Although, in a sense,
Blunt
he
Smoker
wasn't really new at
898.
all. This is Mario 64 Master.
That's almost worse.
Mario 64 Master was one of Break the Target's early champions, and I'm talking really early champions. Back in 2003,
Squeaks?
just a couple years after the game came out,
Was this
he was one of the
Squeaks?
best Break the Targets players in the world, and a level that he specialized in was Samus. In October 2004, he set a world record of 8.18, a time that stood for roughly the next 10 months, but he gradually played the game less and less, and by 2006, Mario 64 Master's interest in the game had faded as he went off to college, got a job, and generally just got on with his life. It happens all the time. A world-class player simply moves on as their interests change. It's practically inevitable at some point. But what wasn't usual was what happened next. After barely thinking about Melee for the next 13 years, in 2019, Mario 64 Master somehow got a small kindling of interest in the game. He saw there was a bounty going on for Sub 3 and rejoined the community
That's
of
kind of
players.
hype. An old vet.
Despite years of inactivity, could he keep up with the likes of Sockdude and Moody? His world records from 2004 were impressive, but they were surely far less optimized than what today's players were doing.
Gramps
Well,
relaced the
he
Jordans.
got to work playing Samus, his best record from 15 years ago. Mario 64 Master learned the new tech and practiced to get his skills where they used to be. He brought a new level of discipline and focus that the game had honestly never
Adult
seen before.
discipline.
He created spreadsheets that broke down every strategy in
Holy!
intricate detail, writing up exactly where they lost and gained time down to the frame.
Wait, let's go.
Anybody
Ark.
who had the fastest split of breaking a certain target, he methodically studied how they did it, trying to implement it in his own attempts. It was like a science experiment. Mario 64 Master put over 100 hours of attempts into Samus over a few months, and 15 years after his last record, in October 2019, he set a new world record of 7.77.
That's awesome.
Beating Sockdude
That's
by
awesome.
3 frames.
That's actually really cool.
Then for good measure, a month later, he beat it by another frame. It's one of the best stories in the history of Break the Targets.
That's
How the
actually hella
legends from
sick.
years
That's
past
sick.
stack up against modern tech? Well, in the case of Mario 64 Master, he hadn't missed a beat. He's still setting records to this day.
Where'd it go?
Players had now saved a total of 39 frames. They had 14 to go
14
for
left.
sub 3. And I'll say right now, the next improvement for the bounty was a 4-frame time save on Peach. This is notable because Peach has the most storied world record of all 25 levels. So much so that it was detailed in a video by Practical Tasks. And to fully understand the significance of this record, we need a mini history lesson.
Okay. There's a
For
video
years,
in the video?
Peach's level had a straightforward strategy. Use an aerial attack for the first target, throw a turnip for the second target, and a parasol attack for targets 3 and 4. Then you take the top path to break targets 5, 6, and 7, before throwing a turnip and breaking the final 3 targets. Players took turns optimizing this strategy in the game's early era, finding tiny ways to save time and improve their movement.
Okay.
It ultimately settled on a world record of 10.10 by Marth 1, set in 2005, considered an extremely optimized record.
Yeah,
But
that's good.
taking the record under 10 seconds was too tempting. In order to do that, players had to use a new strategy. And what they came up with was mind-boggling. See, whenever you down plus B to pull a turnip, there's a 1 in 128
random,
chance
right?
that instead of pulling a turnip, you'll pull an item. Of these item pulls, half will be a Mr. Saturn, 1/3 will be a bomb, and 1/6 will be a beam sword. This beam sword can be extremely helpful to a break the targets run, because it can be thrown almost twice the distance of a turnip. So normally at the fork in the path, you have to go up top to break those targets since a turnip won't reach. But if you pull a beam sword, you can take the low path while breaking the top targets with the beam sword. It saves an entire half second.
Oh, that's hype.
The downside is that the pure odds of pulling a beam sword is 1 in 768, and that's on top of the execution.
That's
for a
very
world record.
frustrating.
Players knew this strategy existed as far back as 2003, and they started going for it to get a sub 10. The record timeline is a bit murky, with several unrecorded world records. But the first person to get a world record on video with the 1 in 768 beam sword route was Joe Bushman, getting a 9.78 in August 2005.
Joe Bushman.
To get this
dude.
record, Joe had to
In
break the
05?
first 4 targets, then pray he won with the 1 in 768 chance to pull a beam
This
sword.
guy loved George
If
Bush.
he didn't, he had to restart.
What if this is George Bush's
He'd get
alt
stuck
account?
in this loop for hours. Joe's record was one of the game's finest, and nobody tried to beat it for years. Then in 2012, Link's Dark Arrows went after it, beginning one of the longest world record chases in Break the Target's history. He pulled dozens of beam swords over hundreds of hours of attempts, compiling them in a playlist called Beam Sword.
Dude, this is so funny. We shall name this beam sword Velma. We shall name this beam sword Ignacio. You just uploaded hundreds of beam sword videos.
Beam swords over hundreds of hours of attempts, compiling them in a playlist called Beam Sword Theater. These were all runs where he either got the sword at the wrong time or simply messed up after pulling it.
Ugh.
Lots of people saw these attempts and became invested in his quest for the record. Link's Dark Arrows finally came through on March 13th, 2013, beating an 8-year-old world record with a 9.72. The record was then traded back and forth a bit between him and Hanky Panky, a competitive player who made
Yeah,
Peach.
Hanky Panky's
These
actually
players pushed
good.
each other to improve, and the record
He was, like,
ultimately
in
settled
tournaments.
on a 9.53 by Link's Dark Arrows in June 2013. This was truly an incredible time. It almost tied the task from target 4 through the end, and only lost a few frames at the start. And keep in mind, that was with the 1 in 768 chance of pulling a beam sword.
Yeah.
This time was still standing when the bounty began 6 years later. It was not considered a likely candidate for improvement. But man, is there anything Sock Dude can't do? Sock Dude implemented a new time save. At the end, he threw a sword in the air, ensuring that it left Peach's hand before he landed. This saved a few frames over landing before throwing the sword, which the old record did. Now, Sock Dude still had to grind for the 1 in 768 luck, get all the earlier execution, and get this hard
Easy for him.
maneuver at the end. But of course, he was able to do it. On November 2nd, 2019, Sock Dude got a new world record of 9.46, matching the old task time. It's unreal
Incredible.
how these top-level players are able to pull time out
Human
of thin air.
tasks?
That was 4 more frames for the bounty. What seemed like a pipe dream, something that might take years to
10
accomplish,
frames
was now
left.
almost a reality. Just 4 months ago, after weeks of slow, grueling progress, runners still had 50 frames to go until sub 3. Now, thanks to revelations on Fox, Samus, Jigglypuff, and Peach, that number was down to just 10. These players had a big decision to make. A lot of the recent improvements were from big strategy changes, allowing for several frames to be taken off at once, but those had really dried up, and now the big improvements would naturally be harder to come by. Another option would be to just try and shave small pieces of time off until the 10 frames were gone. Some records, like Captain Falcon, Link, and Kirby for instance, were known to not be fully optimized and could be lowered by a frame or two.
Okay.
So, what was the right way to proceed? Go for it all, or chip away on several levels?
Go for it all!
The responsible thing was to take the sure path, save a frame or two here and there until 10 frames had been taken off. But nah, go big or go home, baby. Pikachu's world record was about a decade old, set on New Year's Day 2010. It was performed by a player named Demon9. You might know him today as one of the most prolific Zelda speedrunners of all time, breaking world records in Wind Waker and Twilight Princess. But back in 2010, he was playing Melee, and the level that he was best at was Pikachu. On January 1st, he set a time of 7.20, a world record so good that it was still standing 10 years later. It had survived the likes of Sockdude, Moody, and everyone else. The record used the same strategy that had been used since just a bit after the game came out. It was pretty tough. There was awkward movement at the start, then after the first 5 targets you had to waveland, dash right, full jump, then up air to target 6 and 7. A lot of moves in rapid succession. On top of that, it was an optimized record. Demon9 left room for maybe a couple frames of improvement, but not much. So then why are we talking about this record? Well, because in 2019, Demon9 came back to Pikachu, and he found something big. See, for years there was known to be a faster method to break targets 6 and 7. Instead of jumping up and landing on the moving platform, you do an up plus B, a move that's broken into 2 legs. You move horizontally to the right on the first leg, and then perfectly angle your control stick to move up and right on the second leg, allowing you to edge cancel on the moving platform above. The problem was the angle for the second leg. It had to be so perfect that it was practically impossible. These dots represent all possible angles you can hold the control stick. In order to get the edge cancel on the moving platform, you have this specific tiny window where you must hold the control stick. You'll notice it's not all the way on the rim. It's a tiny bit before the edge, making the exact position even harder. There was no way to hit this with any consistency. But in late 2019, Demon9 came up with a brilliant idea. Instead of going horizontal on the first leg and then diagonal, what if you switched the order, going diagonal first and then horizontal? This made things easier. The first leg, you could just pick a rim angle to get the right height. The second leg, instead of having a tiny range, you could now pick any x-axis range in the y-axis dead zone of the controller. It also makes the edge cancel itself easier since you have more horizontal speed, which is directly tied to how long you have to edge cancel.
I mean, smart, but...
It really was a huge discovery. And when Demon got a time of 7.35 using the route, even though it was too slow for a record, it was a proof of concept that this was going to work. And not only was it faster, but it could potentially be enough to end the bounty on its own.
Let's go!
This was the path to take the total high score under 3 minutes.
Someone's gonna swoop in.
Although there had already been a burst of activity for the bounty, there was about to be an even bigger one, as we were going to find out who would get the glory of finishing off the sub 3. Moody and Sockdude were the obvious candidates here. Mario 64 Master and Sam the Digital had a chance. But also now, there was Demon9. He'd found the new strat.
He found the strat, but I don't think he's the one that can do it.
Maybe he could pull it off first. The current record was 7.20. We need 7.03 for sub 3.
Jerry?
Over the following days, there was a huge rush to try and get it. Many players threw attempts at it, hoping to be the one to break the sub 3 barrier.
Oh, he did do it? On January 1st, 2020? That's cool.
Just a 1 frame improvement, yes. It bled
Oh,
time
I
all
see.
over compared to the previous record, but the new strategy saved so much time that he made up for it. It came exactly 10 years to the day after his previous record. This new time was set on New Year's Day 2020.
Okay.
As usual, the congratulations poured in, this time with a big sense of anticipation. The bounty wasn't done yet, but everyone could tell what was coming.
Yeah, they're gonna get
9
it.
frames to go.
9 frames to go.
The community-wide scramble continued, but the very next day, it was
Axe is the best Pikachu player competitively in the world. The only person to ever win a major tournament with Pikachu. And a nice guy in real life.
the community-wide scramble continued, but the very next day, it was Demon 9 coming through again, this time with a 7.10. It was similar to the last record, but with a slightly faster start. It saved 5 more frames. 4 frames to go until sub 3. Demon had all the momentum, but either way, clearly something amazing was about to happen. The past 10 months were about to reach their conclusion. And later the same day as the 7.10, another world record was set.
Okay. Moody. That was clean. That was fucking clean.
Oh my god. What? What?
He did
Oh my
it!
god. Oh boy. Wow. That's great. We got it, guys. That's it.
Moody was the most fitting player to finish off the bounty. He was one of the original sponsors of the bounty, and had claimed more bounty frames than everyone
makes
else
sense.
put together. In total, not counting the money he spent, he'd earned almost $900, way ahead of the rest
I
of
mean,
the pack.
it's not about the money. Because the hours he put in, that's like the most sub minimum wage job of all time. it's like slave wages, dude. But it's for the pride. It's for the fucking... It's about the mark on history of the game.
Even Sockdude had to bow down to Moody. The bounty wouldn't have happened without him. But this was still a community-wide effort. They'd come together and taken the total high score down by a full second in under a year.
Yeah, I mean, he was...
The
yeah,
previous
paid
second
himself.
had taken more than 4 years. These were some of the biggest world record cuts in ages. The community was popping off right now. There were so many eyes on each of the game's 25 world records. And what happened next is even more shocking than the initial push for sub 3.
Okay.
A few weeks later, Demon 9 came back and reclaimed the Pikachu record. The next day, Sam the Digital broke the longest standing Break the Targets record, Captain Falcon from 2006.
Okay, beast.
A week later, Sockdude took another 2 frames off the Pikachu
They
record.
kept going?
And then, Sam the Digital took a frame off the Link record and 2 frames off the Kirby record. In just a few weeks after the bounty's finish, another 8 frames had come off the total high score. The bounty had revitalized the community. The momentum was still going. That was nothing compared to what happened in late February 2020.
Yeah, I know.
It all centered around the
That
ice climbers.
you could put that sentence in every speedrunning video. Everyone got stuck at home and they all speedrun like crazy. Everything get... What happened?
Level. Jerry3333 and Moody found a way to reorder some moves and save a full quarter of a second. And then
then
the
COVID had
community
this
worked
run.
together to utilize a task strategy called the early cloud. The key was to break the first target with a neutral beat.
The key was to eat a bat in Wuhan. And all of a sudden, our records are getting smashed left and
Allow
right.
you to reach this cloud on the left instead of one on the right, and make it up the level faster. How much faster?
Been there, done that?
Thanks to the early cloud, over the next few weeks, Break the Target's players took 91 frames off the Ice Climbers world record. The entirety of the bounty was just 53 frames.
Dude.
Timing is a funny thing. Had the early cloud been discovered just a year earlier, there wouldn't have been a bounty. No big push for sub 3. It would have instantly been over in one level.
Yeah,
there may have been no revitalization of the community.
It's cool.
No
the way it
return
did.
of Mario 64 Master. And no record spree from Sockdude and Moody. Instead, Break the Targets was completely revived.
That's
By
cool.
March 2020, the total high score was down to 257.93. That was now 3 seconds taken off in just a year. The previous 3 seconds took 9 years. Today, the total high score is all the way down to a 253. There are several new records set every year, oftentimes multiple in a month.
That's hype.
And if the bounty never existed, there's no telling where we'd be. What's the point of this story?
Can I throw in a new bounty? I got some bread to throw around. Can I put like $100 a frame or something? That'd be fun. If they're still doing it.
Well, in speedrunning, it's not really about the records. It's about the journey. And nowhere is that more evident than in Break the Targets. Thanks for watching.
Good video. Good fucking video. PogChamp. PogChamp, 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 PogChamp. Listen, chat. I might have to call it today. Might have to call it. Unfortunate. Yeah, I want to watch Smallville too, but I need to do some stuff. Today was just a lot of stuff. And I'll tell you what I have to do. I have to finish the final lines of the voiceover for the Hitman $2,000 contract video. I have to do it. Zinjo leaves like on Monday. If I don't do it now, it won't get in the video. It won't go out. I have to finish it. And I didn't finish it today, and I need to finish it. So I literally have to do it. I also would like to add some slides to that presentation so I can do it tomorrow. So I'm sorry. Bad stream today. Just watching a video with you. I'm sorry. Not really a stream. I'll be back tomorrow. It'll be a much better stream. Ideally, I go live earlier. But I need to finish this. So I'm going to raid Zane in honor of Melee. And I'm glad I stopped in. I'm glad I said hi, but I really didn't have anything prepped today because I've been working on stuff today. And I did have a couple meetings that could be really fucking awesome. Zane. What's Zane's Twitch? Did I mean my... There you go, right, Zane. Give Zane some love. Thanks for watching. Sorry for the short and underwhelming maybe stream today, but back tomorrow with a presentation and more. Goodbye. Thank you.